This lesson is on how to model all of the outcomes that you can get in probability events. We're going to draw up what we call a sample space for compound events. A compound event is when you have two or more simple events like flipping a coin, spinning a wheel, rolling a dice, and then you combine them. So a compound event is when two or more simple events are combined. This might be flipping two coins. So all the different outcomes that you can get from flipping two coins. It might be something like drawing a card and picking a marble. So two things are happening here. Another example would be picking from a menu. Maybe there's dinner and dessert options. So picking a dinner and a dessert. I'm going to go through a couple different ways that you can draw up a sample space. We're going to start with what's called a tree diagram. So here's our scenario. We are going to flip 3 quarters at the same time. As we know, each quarter has heads or tails. So I'm going to start with flip 1, and on flip 1, I am going to write down the 2 outcomes that we can get, and we can get heads or we can get tails. The reason this is called a tree diagram is because we're going to draw branches off each of these for each flip. So when we go to flip 2, our second quarter, now we could have gotten heads on the first coin and heads on the second coin, but we also could get heads on the first coin and tails on the second coin. So what we're doing, we could get tails heads, or we could get heads tails. So what we're doing, I know I just said that, but we started with our first outcome of heads and tails. On our second flip, there's also 2 outcomes, so you're going to draw 2 branches from each of those first outcomes. And for our third, we're going to do that again. So flip 3. Again, the outcomes are heads and tails. So there's 2 outcomes here, heads or tails. There's 2 outcomes here, heads or tails. 2 outcomes here, heads and tails. And last but not least, 2 outcomes here, heads and tails. This is what's called a tree diagram. And from here, we can use this information to create our sample space. I'm going to use a highlighter here. So we're going to start and we're going to go down every single branch of this tree. So heads, heads, heads is my first outcome. I'm trying to get a color that I want to use. I guess I'll use this. So heads, I'll go down. Heads, heads, heads. We could also write this heads, heads, heads like this, but I'm just going to write them vertically for right now. Okay. Now we're going to go again. I can go heads, heads, but I can branch off and go tails. So this is going to be heads, heads, tails. So far there's 2 different ways that we can have results here. All right, I can go heads, tails, heads. Heads, tails, heads. And I can also go heads, tails, tails. So as you can see, we're just going down and we're going every single branch. So this one is tails, heads, heads. These are all the different combinations that can happen. I have tails, heads, tails. Tails, heads, tails. Tails, tails, heads. And then last but not least, I have tails, tails, tails. Tails, tails, tails. So here's our sample space, the total number of outcomes. We have this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 total outcomes for this. Another way to make a sample space is with an organized list. So here's another scenario. We're going to roll this number cube labeled 1 through 6 and we're going to flip a coin. So what I can do is I can start with the 1, right? I can say, well, I can have 1 in heads. I can also have 1 in tails. Organized, I would then go, after 1, I would go to 2 in heads, 2 in tails, 3 in heads, 3 in tails. That's tails, not heads. 4 heads, 4 tails, 5 heads, 5 tails. I'm running out of room. 6 heads, 6 tails. So that I just went through the numbers and went heads and tails on each one. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different outcomes. And last but not least, another way to create a sample space is using a table. So here is the scenario. A bag contains tiles A, B, and C. A box contains tiles with the numbers 1, 2, and 3. You're going to draw 1 tile from the bag, 1 tile from the box. I'm going to show you how a table can work here. So on the left-hand side of my table, I'm going to start with all the options for the bag. Okay? And on the top, I'm going to write all the options in the box. I'm going to create myself, you guessed it, a little table. Once I have that, I am going to take, so in this first box right here, this is going to be A1. So this is A1. I have A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. So there's 9 outcomes for this scenario. Last but not least, I want to go through what is called the fundamental counting principle with you. This is just a rule to find the total number of outcomes. And the way that we do this is we take the number of outcomes of the first simple event and then we're going to multiply that by the number of outcomes in the second simple event, and so on and so forth. If you have more than 2 events, then you keep multiplying. And when you do that, that's going to give you the total. I just want to go back and show you, again, the outcomes in the first times the outcomes in the second is going to give you the total. So let me go back to this one right here. So in flip 1, there was 2 outcomes, right? Heads and tails. In flip 2, there was 2 outcomes, heads and tails. And in flip 3, there was 2 outcomes, heads and tails. So if we were to use the fundamental counting principle, 2 times 2 times 2 will give us 8. In the next one, there was 6 outcomes here. There was 2 outcomes here. That gives you 12. There was 3 outcomes here, 3 outcomes here. That gives you 9. So that is just an overview of the fundamental counting principle.